Hey my Patriot friends, welcome back to Colonial Girl Liz. Before we get into today's video, make sure to comment, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on your post notifications so you get notified when I post a new video. Okay, let's get started with today's video. So today, we are going to be going back way into the history of this country, and I mean way, way back, like in colonial America. And I know you might be thinking, oh, pilgrims. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about revolutionary Boston. I got this book from my grandmother years ago, like when I was 6 or 7, and I'm now 14. So this should be interesting. But without further ado, let me get into today's video. Alright, so it's called Revolutionary Boston. It's from the Boston Public Library of 2015. Oh, well, I was 8. Pardon my mistake, everybody. Alrighty. So, I'm just going to read this to you and show you the pictures as I go along. So, it says, 2015 marks the 250th anniversary of the 1765 Stamp Act crisis, a polarizing event for North American colonies, and an important prologue to America's quest for independence from Great Britain. During that fiscal year, Boston, long a hub of colonial commerce and trade, became the epicenter of unrest and growing opposition to English taxation without American representation. No taxation without representation is a quote from the Boston Tea Party, and I will be teaching you about the Boston Tea Party, so don't worry. It's not going to go in my YouTube videos aren't going to go in chronological order, but that's okay. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, let's get right back into the video. Over the next 2 decades, the cradle of liberty would be rocked by war, politics, pokes, and patriotism as the 13 colonies traveled along the road, forming a new nation. Revolutionary Boston is a citywide commemoration of the storied period in Boston and New England history. Visitors from near and far are invited to join in the celebration and re-engage with the spirit of revolutionary thinking that the first launched this country through gallery expeditions, unique programs, lectures, tour, musical events, lively reenactments, digital collections, and more. Alright. Skip this page, but show you. This is George Washington. Here. Alright, in colonial America, warning out was a way for a community to regulate those whom it would extend welfare. Boston between 1765 and 1774. Robert Love warned 4,000 itinerants, including migrant workers, demobilized British soldiers, and other newcomers. Robert Love's warnings explores the legal, social, and political landscape of New England in the decade before the Revolution. Cornelia Hughes Dayton is an associate professor of history at the University of Connecticut. I'm going to read one more on this page, this section. Here's ships, colonial ships coming in at sea. So this should be interesting. But here we go. The last one on this page I'm going to read is The Bell Bunker Hill. Alright, John Horrington lost Emory Award-winning television program, The Folklorist, Enemies, one of the most important battles of the Revolutionary War, the Battle of Bunker Hill. Learn how a force of ordinary citizens fought heroically against the greatest army on earth. Yeah, at the time, British forces were the greatest army on earth, so. And this is mostly... Sorry if my hand gets in the way here, but... And that's mostly because, like, the British were, like, the most powerful army in the world. And also because, like, they didn't know how to fight. Not that they didn't know how to fight, but they didn't need to train. The British trained, like, almost every day. And that's how, like, they're like, okay, we're not backing down. And like, the Patriots are like, well, what are they going to do to us? So that's why, like, they kept fighting. Obviously because of taxes and stuff, but it's unfair treatment, and tensions in the colonies had risen. So they were, the colonies were upset that King George III wanted to pay them to pay taxes on things like paper, sugar, and tea. Like, that's got to be upsetting. Alright, I'm gonna read you one of these pages. This one. Well, two excerpts. A Soldier's Life. A Soldier's Life examines the hardship of enlisted men in the Continental Army during the early years of the Revolutionary War. Through lecture and audience participation, experience the grittiness of the soldiers' everyday lives while on campaign. Tom Detail is an experienced historian conducting tours along the Freedom Trail. The Freedom Trail is like it's like miles in Boston. I've done it, but not the whole thing. Walked like half of it. It's miles long, and there's bricks all along the sidewalks in Boston. That's how you know you're on the Freedom Trail. But yeah, I can't tell you exactly where the Freedom Trail goes. You just have to come and visit Boston, Massachusetts for yourself. But if you did, you would really, really love it. So I suggest you do that too. But anyway, let's get on with the video. At the height of the American Revolution in 1779, Massachusetts launched the Penobscot Expedition, a massive military and naval undertaking designed to keep British out of the strategically important coast of Maine. The court-martial of Paul Revere, in the first book to give full account of Revere's conduct before, during, and after distress. Penobscot Expedition and his very low reputation at a time which only Henry Longfellow's iconic poem 80 years later rehabilitate. Michael Greenberg is the author of Peaches and Daddy and the Mud Bomber of New York. John Adams, the State House. The old State House, I should say. The people back then, like in the colonial times, like in George Washington's time, if you came to Boston and you were the president, that's where you would live, the president's house. Well, not would live, but that's where you had offices. Now they just have like a gift shop and tours, but now you live in the new State House where Governor Baker lives or works, whatever. I don't know I'm not sure if people actually live in the State House in Boston. I would assume they do, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But yeah. That's Phil Sweetley. She was a famous writer. So yeah, a little about Phil Sweetley was she was a slave who came here from Africa on a ship overseas, and she loved to write poetry. So yeah, but that's it for today's video. Make sure to comment, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you get notified when I post a new video. That's it for today's video. But yeah, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you get notified when I post a new video. And that's it for today, my Patriot friends. Have a great day, my Patriot friends. Peace.